Did you picture this for yourself growing up? Like, was this in the realm of possibility?
I went viral singing in the bathtub and everything. Anytime that I had feelings that were just big, I would just hide in my room and sing and write songs. And I would watch YouTube videos all day of people singing, and I just never thought I was that good.
It's crazy. How was the conversation with your family saying, I'm moving out at 17?
It was crazy. At the end of the day, people just want to feel something. That's my role. I'm at your service.
Like, how do you do all this and not get crushed? But I almost think that that's the answer.
It is. Don't get me wrong. I love attention.
Do you still care a lot what people think?
Oh, of course. There's been times where I've scrolled through my own page. I stalk myself every day. I won't lie. I love that question. No one's ever asked me that. Sometimes I want to write a song that sounds like you should be sobbing in your shower. And sometimes I want to write a crash out song. And sometimes I want to write a song that's sassy. I want to play stadiums. I want to float around the stadium in a bathtub singing my song. I've literally never talked about that on a podcast ever.
Hi, house guest. Welcome back to the show. This week we have Avery Anna on the podcast. Just met that girl, love her. It was such a good just like hour of sitting down, chatting, relaxing. It kind of reminds me of the Ashley Cook episode from a couple years ago in a way. We just really clicked, and she is so wise beyond her years. She is a country music star. She is so talented. We're talking about like following your dreams and how it's actually selfish not to, and just kind of, I think, almost like rewiring a lot of things as women. She's just amazing. It feels like you're just like sitting down, catching up with us in my living room, which you guys are. If you guys are watching on YouTube, I am here in Nashville, Tennessee, literally in my living room. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I absolutely loved having her on, and I think you guys are going to be obsessed just like me. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I'm so happy you're here. We've already been having such a fabulous time.
I know, we're already yapping so much.
I know, we are yapping.
Yes.
We're just gonna be yapping away.
Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to start because you are so young, and I just turned 28.
Okay.
And so now I'm feeling like really mature and older.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about that, like you're 21, in the world that you're in, that is so young, and you moved here 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So like, how is that navigating all of this at such a young age?
Yeah, let's unpack it, shall we? Let's get there.
You're like, and thanks for bringing that one up.
Yeah. And trauma dump. It's been a really interesting experience because, I mean, my whole life, everyone has always told me that I am like wise beyond my years, or I'm very mature for my age. But I feel like that's because I, at a young age, felt the pressure to show up as an adult when I was like still kind of a kid. I mean, I moved to Nashville when I was 17, and I had already signed a record deal, and I was already recording music and all of that, which I felt very fortunate to do because, I mean, a lot of people come to this town and it takes them a while to, you know, get the record deal or do that stuff. But thanks to TikTok and social media, it happened for me really fast. So I was like 17, living in a house by myself. I'd never gone to the grocery store by myself. I had never like cooked a meal. So I don't know. I feel like in a way I grew up super fast, but lost kind of those innocent years of just like being a 20-year-old girl, you know? Mm-hmm. So it's definitely hard, but I'm also very grateful that I'm in the position that I am in. But I think being like a young girl with the platform that I have and the voice that I have, I think it's a big reach to the girls that are my age, because I mean, not a lot of girls my age get to have that voice and have that place to say things and talk about, you know, what you're going through and how you feel. So I feel like that has allowed me to connect with a lot of just young girls that are going through the same things as me.
I love that.
Yeah.
Do you have siblings?
Yeah, I have 3 siblings.
What's your birth order?
I'm the second daughter.
Okay. I was like, I feel like you're oldest.
Oh yeah, I have an older sister, and then me, and then a brother, and then a younger sister. Me and my older sister, I feel like, share the older sibling role. But also I was kind of like, I don't know, I feel like I was the sibling that like was the peacemaker between the other siblings fighting. So
how was the conversation with your family saying, I'm moving out at 17?
It was crazy. I went viral singing in the bathtub and everything, and I got like, labels were DMing me and management was DMing me. My mom didn't know I even had TikTok. Like, she didn't even know what that was. So I showed her, and she was like, what? This is not happening. She's like, that's not real. Like, those people are fake. Like, that's not real. It's just the internet. Like, I think my views were at like 10 million or like a couple million per post, which was absolutely bonkers. And so my mom was kind of in denial. And then my dad was like totally like, you got this, do it. Like, very, very supportive. They were both supportive, but my mom was just so scared for me because I was 16 at the time. And then we started talking to my management and trusted them very quickly because they're great people, and I still work with them to this day. And so we started recording some songs. I signed a deal. And my dad actually was like, you know, do you want to move there? And I was like, yeah. It was my senior year, and I finished online in Nashville. I signed my deal in July of 2021, moved to August of 2021.
Wow.
So my dad was like, go do it. Like, chase your dreams. He was very, like, encouraging me to just work hard, and, like, he always said you have to be present to win. So, like, if that's what you want to do, like, we'll support you. But if you don't, like, even if you go and you don't like it, you can always come back and chase something else. So I'm blessed to, like, have parents that supported me through all of that.
Yeah, totally. Did you picture this for yourself growing up? Like, was this in the realm of possibility?
No.
What did you think was going to happen? Like, did you love singing but not want to pursue? Like, what did you think?
So my household was very emotionally available in disguise. Like, it was, if you needed to cry, like, you go cry in your room. You don't cry in front of the family or anything. Like, my mom is very uncomfortable. My dad's very uncomfortable with, like, big emotions, which I'm a very emotional person.
Yeah. I was going to say, what a mix.
Yes. So anytime that I, like, had feelings that were just big, I would just hide in my room and sing and write songs. And I remember coming home from school and putting on, you know, Buck Owens on vinyl, which no middle school girl was listening to Buck Owens, you know, on vinyl. So it was something that I just, like, kind of kept for myself. I sang in church occasionally, the national anthem at volleyball games, and I did one talent show in town. But I'm from Flagstaff, Arizona, and there wasn't, like, a huge music scene there. So it was kind of like something that I just had in my back pocket. And I remember I went to see Taylor Swift, her Speak Now tour. I think I was, like, 11 maybe. And I remember thinking I could never say out loud that that's what I wanted to do, like, ever admit that to myself, because I loved music so much and I loved singing so much that if it ever didn't happen for me, I would be crushed. So I decided that day, like, as a young girl, that I could never admit that that's what I wanted to do because I loved it so much and I didn't want it to ever be taken away from me. So I thought I was gonna, you know, go work on a ranch or go to school, become a dental hygienist. I don't know if I was smart enough to be a dental hygienist. But I just, especially with social media, and I would watch YouTube videos all day of people singing, and I just never thought I was that good.
That's crazy.
So I never dared to, like, you know, say it out loud, but I always wanted to on the inside, I guess. If that
when
makes
did
sense.
you realize you were good?
I still don't know.
Like, actually, still looking for that.
Yeah, I'm like, I still need the validation. But I remember there was one time I was singing in church, and I've never fully, like, got the confirmation, like, oh, I'm really good at this. You know, I think I always want to be better and strive to be better, which I think is good. Can be a little self-deprecating at times, but overall it's pretty good. But I remember when I was little, I was singing in church, and I was really nervous, and my mom told me that it was super selfish that I was nervous because it's not about me, and people aren't there to watch me sing. They're there to feel the Spirit. And so I, like, for the first time, shook off the nerves and just, like, sang. And she also told me that if I didn't feel it, then no one else would. And I carry that with me to this day. And I just remember I was singing, and the people in the pews were, like, crying. And my mom was crying, which I didn't see her cry a lot. And I remember thinking then that I was good enough to, like, make people feel something. So I've always been good at making people cry when I sing because I feel that emotion when I do it. But I don't know. Still,
I can imagine. I can imagine that being a very freeing feeling too, to where it's not all on you.
Yeah,
because you're almost like the middleman in a way, to where it's something bigger. Like, I mean, so many of your songs are, like, so deep and about something so much bigger, and I'm sure people are coming to you, like, all the time, and I can imagine that could feel like a really heavy weight. But with that perspective, like, I think that is, like, I was gonna ask you earlier, I'm like, how do you do all this and not get crushed? But I almost think that that's the answer.
It is. It's like the foundation of, I think, my career. And don't get me wrong, I love attention. I won't even lie to you.
No, like, same,
I'm an artist. I love attention. But at the end of the day, I do know that it's not about me. It really is like, people don't come to my concerts and scream the words to Narcissist or Vanilla coming to see me and idolize me and, oh, look what she's wearing and she's so cool. Like, that's like the cherry on top of some of it. But at the end of the day, people just want to feel something. And I've really noticed that as an artist, going around the world and playing shows and seeing the, you know, so many different kinds of people with different kinds of beliefs, get different kinds of lifestyles, but everyone's there for one thing, just to feel something. And so as an artist, that's like my duty, I guess. That's my role. I'm at your service to just like, you know, write stuff that's real and just help people feel something.
What's it like performing a song like Vanilla?
Very cathartic, emotional. It feels like therapy because, I mean, Vanilla is a situation where, you know, you just feel pressure to kind of drop your boundaries, or maybe your boundaries have been crossed. And I know that I don't know a single girl that hasn't ever felt like that. And if they haven't, they're going to. And so many girls are put in that situation, and a lot of fans write about that situation to me in their letters. And I mean, I felt like that so many times in my life, and there have been times that were really, you know, damaging to me and made me, you know, put up walls and build boundaries. So every time I sing it, I think it's just a reminder that I'm not, you know, the only girl that's ever felt like that. But also addressing that, I guess, pain or like that like broken part of my heart. I think addressing it every show, or like, it's painful and it hurts every time, but it's also very healing. Sounds kind of twisted, but
No, I was gonna ask him. I feel like so many of these songs that are just like deeper in general. I always wonder that when artists are performing, even something as, you know, it's a song about a bad breakup.
Yeah.
I'm like, do you feel that in the
Yes.
moment when you're singing?
yeah, every time.
See, I would be like screaming, and I know that I would.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes maybe people are on autopilot, but that's good to know.
Well, sometimes, so I do switch into autopilot when I know I will like not be able to get through.
You like don't
the
have it in
song.
you.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Especially with songs like Vanilla and Grave and Narcissist, or just this really deeper ones, which my entire last album would make me cry if I let it. But yeah, sometimes on stage, if I know that I'm like not okay,
Yeah.
that I'll go into autopilot because I have to show up to help other people, you know,
Yeah.
like feel that. Because if I'm breaking down and can't get to the song,
Yeah.
yes.
You almost
Yeah.
have to like disconnect in a way for a
Yes.
short period of time.
Yeah, disassociate. I do that
Yes,
a lot. I
disassociate.
do that a lot.
Sometimes you have to.
Yeah.
Was there a moment that you knew that this is what you wanted to do?
There's so many. It's like I'm playing it through in my head, and there's so many times that I have just loved it. I mean, that singing in church and making people cry, that made me feel it made me feel useful. And it gave me something to work at, like at a really young age. I remember my first couple of headlining shows, just listening to people sing the words back to me and telling me how much my songs have helped them, especially when Narcissist like really took off. I remember going through the comments on the YouTube video. It was like I think it's my biggest video, and it's a lyric video, which is crazy because we put so much work into like production of other ones. But
Yeah, I'm like, isn't that the best?
yeah, I know. Nice. Just like some lyrics, but there's lots of comments in there, just paragraphs on paragraphs of people's stories with, you know, narcissistic abuse, which I didn't even understand fully at the time. I just knew that I just knew what I went through, but I didn't know the extent of what other people were going through. So I remember reading those and feeling really just useful and like I had a purpose. So there's a million moments that have validated that for me, especially interacting with people that listen to the songs. So
I've heard it said that when you find like what you're meant to do, it almost feels like the wind of heaven is at your back.
Yeah.
Like there's something, there's just this like, it's not always, I don't think like in life things are like aha moments all the time. I think a lot of the time it's just like in peace, and it's a lot of like small moments, but it feels like that even just like specific time that you're talking about in church, it feels like that was like a wind of heaven at your back moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I love that phrase. That's beautiful.
Isn't that good?
That's,
like, it wasn't mine. I
wow,
stole from
what
someone,
a poet
but-
you are.
I wish it was me.
Yeah.
It was not.
That's cool.
Okay, so everything blows up on TikTok, okay?
Yeah.
At that point, like, when you were putting music out or your covers out on TikTok, were you, like, wanting to do this as a career? Or was it just like, this is fun?
No, it was like breathing. Like, I had to just do it. And I was going to do it either way, whether I posted it or not. I was singing in the bathtub or on my mom's bathroom floor. Literally all hours of the day. It was the pandemic. I had Zoom school. I was not paying attention in my class. I would like mute my culinary class every single day and just like go in there and sing and write. And it was also the only place in the house that, you know, there wasn't somebody in. And the piano in our house growing up was in like a spot that everyone could hear it. So I would just hide away in the bathroom and sing. So posting was really just, if it hadn't been the pandemic, I would never have had the confidence to post. I was just so isolated from my peers at school, and I have always been the type of person that cares a lot about what people thought about me, especially in high school, as every teenage girl is. And I think like being separated from that really gave me the just confidence to do what I wanted to do. And so when stuff started going viral, it was just like more of a drive to keep doing it and keep posting it. But I would record like 50 videos for one song. Like, I'm not even kidding. I still do. I did that last night. I recorded like 20 versions of this song that I just wrote and then finally posted one. I got sick of going through them and I was just like, I'll just post this one. But
I think that's a secret sometimes. You just get so annoyed you have to.
yeah, and I'm sure like you maybe feel this way sometimes, but the pressure to post and go viral, it started there. And it was really fun at the time, and it still is fun all the time. But the pressure to go viral and your success being weighed on that is such a weird position to put a young girl.
I think especially when it's tied to art. Like, I think
Yes.
it's so much worse
Yeah.
when it's tied to art. Like that, I think honestly anyone listening to
Yeah.
this show would probably relate to that in some
Yeah.
aspect of like performing on the internet, even if you just are posting for your friends. But when it comes to like actually creating art, and then so much of it really is tied to TikTok these days, and then you're young and then you're also a girl, it's just that's so difficult. Do
It's
you
a really
still
weird-
care a lot what people think?
Oh, of course.
Obviously.
I'll never escape it. But I will say it was really, really bad when I was 16. But that's just normal. I think that's something that you go through. But I've really started to care a lot less. Because I feel like I've really searched for the validation in just like my core values, and not to get super deep. But I've thought about this a lot because it's been like not a lot of people talk about the effect that, you know, social media actually has on them, especially if it serves them. For me in my career, like it gave me my career. It's literally the reason that I'm here, but you know, it's my biggest blessing and my biggest battle. It's super unhealthy. I don't know. I just think I've really had to tell myself every day, especially being an artist, and so much of your success is weighed on, you know, this song went viral, let's release it, or, you know, teasing new music, getting people to go to your shows. Just self-promotion makes me cringe. So much. Like, I literally there's been times where I've scrolled through my own page. I stalk myself every day, I won't lie. There's been times where I scroll through my own page and I'm like, I would not follow me. Like, this is, the self-promotion is so ungenuine. And so over the past year, I've really tried to just post when I feel like it, post when it's real, and not just, you know, be fake with people. I think it's important to remind myself every day that, you know, my career holds value, or my TikTok, it holds value. My Instagram holds value, but that doesn't hold value over me. Like, I'm valuable because of my whatever core beliefs are, like the roots of my tree, which would be my faith. You know, I'm a daughter of God. I'm a sister. I'm a daughter. I'm a friend. I'm a songwriter. And then, like, the trunk of the tree is the things that help me reach other people and, like, grow the branches. So that'd be TikTok and whatever, playing shows and going on tour and stuff like that.
I love that illustration.
Thank you. I've thought about it a lot.
Like, this is what I think
my
about.
self-therapy. I do it every day.
Yeah.
I literally will draw diagrams in my journal being like, hey,
Yeah.
this doesn't matter, but this is like helpful, but it's not who I am.
No, and it's really hard, especially with social media, when that isn't something you can just not do. Like,
Yeah.
you have to have social media for your
sure.
career. So I think the obvious answer would be like, well, don't get on Instagram. It's like, well, it's not that easy when you have to. And I feel like we're in a space where so many people, even just like female entrepreneurs, have to be on social at this point. Like, it's not so simple. So it's finding things like that that give you something that grounds you, that helps. Also, on the topic of like caring what people think. I have like cared and then not cared at all, and then cared a lot and then not cared at all. I've like really gone back and forth on this.
The burnout and then
I'm either like really sensitive and you're catching me on a bad day, or I am like, I don't care at all. But the one thing, I read Mel Robbins' book. We read it for this book. We have a book club on the podcast.
Fun.
And we read it, and she said something that like genuinely changed my life. I tell everyone who ever brings this up to me because it really was so helpful. And she was saying, like, you know, we're human beings. There's no way on God's green earth that we are not going to care what people think. Like, that is actually a waste of energy, is trying to not care, because regardless, it doesn't matter. Like, caring what people think also isn't actually always a bad thing. Like, we should care what, like, certain people in our lives think, of course. But I think that we waste a lot of energy trying to not care, and instead, this is what she said, instead let them think negatively of you, and like your world keeps spinning. So instead of like, I found myself last year, I was really in the low place. I was very sensitive. Things were really getting to me. I had like a falling out. It was really, really affecting me. And once I like started to just allow, I'm like, they're going to say this, they're going to think this. And it's like, yeah, they will. And they have, and they will. Like they have, they will, they'll continue. Instead of trying to not care that they were doing it, I was just like, let them. And I'm not kidding. Since doing that, like literally not even a thought.
Change your life.
Yes, it was all I thought about for like a month. And then after that, I was like, literally forgot that this existed.
Yeah, that's so good. I've heard that. My mom is very passionate about the let them theory.
Yes. Oh, yes.
So good. That's great. And that's such good advice. And I think especially like they're gonna say what they want. They're gonna think what they want regardless. Either you let them affect you in that way or you don't. You know?
No, it's like so helpful. Another thing I really wanted to talk to you about, which I feel like is perfect timing now, and I feel this for everyone listening, not just like people who are artists or influencers or own businesses or whatever. There's just a lot of pressure to feel like you need to know who you are and almost brand yourself and be this one thing. And I've been on the internet since I was like 16, 17, and I feel like I still don't, I don't think you ever really fully know who you want to be, because it should always be changing. How have you navigated that, especially when it's going into something as permanent as like albums and music and singles and like everything?
That is such a good question. I love that question. No one's ever asked me that. I have so many feelings about it. When I moved here and I, started releasing the first couple songs and my first album even, and even my second album, I was asked as a 17-year-old girl, what's your brand? And to me, that was so confusing, because I was like,
I'm just a girl.
I'm just me. What do you mean? They're like, are you Western? Are you pop? Are you country? Are you, do you wear fringe? Do you wear chiffon? Like, what's your favorite color? Like, I just got put into this machine of promotion and marketing as a creative, emotional girl. And I was
young,
like, what's
and changing
going on
and
here?
growing up.
Yes, and I was like, I don't know what you mean. Like, I don't know how to brand myself. I don't know how to make myself marketable for you. Like, your job is to figure out how to market who I am. Naturally. And
because then they want you to like fit
weird.
into this box for them.
And so I really did try and fit in the box, and it was I was just writing songs that I didn't love. And then I released Narcissist, and that was just like, naturally just came out of my soul, like from the deep, dark depths of my soul. And then all of a sudden, and I didn't want to release that song because it was so personal and it had so many effects on my personal life, and I was still going through it. So it was a terrible time to release that song for me personally. And then all of a sudden, after that song came out, I was sad girl. Don't get me wrong, I am sad girl. That is true. And I'm still sad girl certified. But like, that being my brand, and then all of a sudden, my entire team wanted my socials to look like I was depressed. And they wanted me to post content that looked sad so that I could connect with that audience. And I was so worried about what people thought about me. And so I was like, I don't want to look like I'm a sad girl. Like, my family doesn't like seeing that. My friends don't like seeing that. I'm not a sad girl. I'm bubbly. I'm happy. Like, I'm a freaking ray of sunshine.
I'm so fun, I swear.
Yeah, I was so awesome and happy and fun all the time. Anyway, so that was weird. And then accepting that, like, those feelings are real and people can see that was a big challenge for me. And then my brand being that and, like, fully owning that, I don't know. It was just so many weird emotions. And I naturally did not fit in the box that was the most marketable for me, which I think was the best thing that could have ever happened to my career. And so Breakup Over Breakfast, the genres in it are very all over the place. And it is harder to promote an album like that. I do know that. And I will say that, you know, I'm not your perfect, you know, promo. I'm not. It's just harder to promote an album that's country and rock and pop and alternative and indie and folk and Christian, you know. And same thing with my latest album. It's just...
It's so interesting, though.
Weird.
Because I feel like most people like a bit of everything.
Yeah, they do.
You know?
I think that works. And I think being a young girl that's on the internet and needs to be, you know, an entrepreneur, a businesswoman, I'm just figuring that out. But I'm also really trying to write the narrative to where I can just be myself and express my art the way that, you know, I'm living my life. And like you said, it's always changing. Who I am is always changing. And that's something that they also told me when I moved here at 17. They're like, oh, you're so special and different because you know what you want and you know who you are. And I did have a firm foundation of, you know, of my faith and what I wanted and stuff like that, but it's still always changing. And sometimes I want to write a song that sounds like you should be sobbing in your shower and you're just disassociating for 3 hours and listening to it over and over again. And then sometimes I want to write a crash out song, and sometimes I want to write a song that's, you know, sassy or whatever. So weird situation. Still navigating.
I feel like in the past decade of my life, like at my core, I think I've always been the same. I relate to you being like, I'm an old soul. Like I moved out when I was 17. Like I've done so many things that are similar. Like I can relate to a lot of that. But I feel like at my core, I've always been the same. But I feel like I've been six different people at the same time. Like it's hard to describe. But I am just curious how you've been able to just stick to, like, I'm going to be myself and not let these people kind of like take over, even if it could be more beneficial to my career. Like having the confidence to like be yourself versus like be what would maybe be easiest for other people. In the long run, that obviously wouldn't be easiest for you.
Yeah.
But it might be easiest to get to where you think you want to go.
Yeah. I think there have been times where I've been pitched songs or different just opportunities that did not align with my values and my morals that would have been great for my career, great for my analytics, numbers, whatever you want to call it. But it's just not right, and it doesn't really express who I am the best. And I think that there's a lot of confidence in building a career through people genuinely connecting with what's real for me. And I'm not, you know, I'm just not like I don't know how to put it. I'm not very commercial, as much as that would help my career, and I could like go for it tomorrow if I wanted to, and it would be a really smart business move, and it would be like such a boss woman move, and I admire other people that are just naturally that way and naturally like viral and commercial and connect like that. But I'm just more of like a closet, you know, sad song, confusing lyric type of girl. So, but I think it's more fulfilling to me in my career specifically to go to shows and connect with people on that honest of a level, rather than singing a mindless song that helps me sell 10,000 tickets, but I feel nothing. It's not actually talked about and admitted very much from an artist in the industry, but it is a sacrifice.
Yeah.
It really is.
Also, I just think, like I always say, like slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah.
Even though I wouldn't say any of this has been slow, like you've had insane successes. But of course, I think it's it's almost like looking at it as more of a marathon than a race.
Yeah.
Like you want staying power. Like by doing what you're doing, I think you are going to have the fans that stay with you for 50 years.
For sure.
Versus sometimes like when you're doing things that aren't true, that don't feel true to you, I think that does translate, and people, even if they like the song, might not connect with you as much.
And they
you know
can
what I mean?
tell that it's not real.
Totally.
Like, truly, and I see this all the time with my videos, even if I'm, you know, trying to promote a tour or say like come buy tickets or, you know, listen to this song I just released. Sometimes I don't feel like saying that, and I don't feel like putting that out there. I don't feel like, you know, shoving my content down someone's throat. People can tell if it's not genuine or if I don't feel it. And the videos that I do that are of me genuinely feeling something and just being real, it connects more. It's so interesting. Such a weird vibe.
No, it's just, I think just like self-promotion in general. I'm sure that's
so cringe. I hate it. I hate it nuts, but I have to do it.
Everyone has to do it.
Yes.
Like, it's not even just artists. Like, there's so many people. I think most people would struggle with self-promotion just in general.
Yeah.
And it does feel tough, you know? I want to go back to what you said about the decision you made as a child, basically, at the Taylor Swift concert.
Yeah.
You said that you never wanted to admit that is what you wanted to do because essentially it would hurt too bad if it didn't work out. So do you still feel that way about dreams now? Like, has it been a slow, of course, like this almost was like a happy accident by posting this stuff, and then you had so many people like messaging you and reaching out. Do you still struggle with like saying dreams out loud?
The thought's still there when I develop a dream or a passion, but no, I think that this entire experience has really taught me that, and I think every single young person should really take this in and practice that to their core. Like, when you dream of something, it's not just a dream, you know? That can be a goal, and it's something that you work towards, and there's a lot of talented people in the world. I used to think when I was in high school and posting videos, like, this will never work for me. There's so many talented people out there, like I'm not special. There's a lot of talent, but it's the people that work the hardest that truly accomplish their goals and make their dreams a reality. And even for you, like, you've worked so hard to be where you are right now. You would know that it's not just like a pipe dream. It's everyday grind, and you have to really work at it. And so now when I think of something that I want to do, like, I want to play stadiums. I want to float around the stadium in a bathtub singing my song.
Oh, I love that.
Yes, I want to learn stained glass. I want to act. I want to, you know, not just write songs, but maybe other material one day. Just like, I have so many dreams and passions now that I know that I shouldn't put them down, because it would just be such like a disservice to me, and even to, I'm such a religious and spiritual person. I know that sometimes I can be like a vessel for God to share, you know, those emotions through music. I knew that at a young age. I don't think I'm Jesus or a prophet or anything. Like, I don't want to like put out this savior complex out there, but I think it's important to listen to those promptings and work hard at them.
I think it's also a disservice to like the people who are meant to like benefit from the songs, even on like, if you feel like this is like the calling on your life from God, like those are like more like Christian words.
Yeah.
But I think, like, I remember hearing someone say one day, like, I do think that, like, most things on your heart are probably, if it's not, like, shaken, if it's still there after time, I think it's probably from God. Like, I think, of course, there's whatever, but I do think a lot of it is from God of some sort, right? So I don't think, it's hard because when you're doing something, like you're performing or you're an artist or you're doing something, I'm on camera, like there's so many things that can feel very self-serving, but that isn't really like the core necessarily. Of course, we're joking, like we both love attention, we both love those things, but I do think that sometimes like what you think is, I'm not going to say this perfectly, but like what you think is being humble is actually completely doing the opposite thing. Because I also think that like being humble would be like following like what you think you're supposed to do with your life versus like, oh no, it's not about me. And it's like, are you really acting out of humility or are you just acting out of fear?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Totally. I totally get it.
And I think that's more of what happens. I actually think that people make themselves smaller and don't follow like what it is that they're meant to do with their lives. Really out of fear, but they act like it's out of humility because they don't want it to be about them. And it's like, well, if you didn't want it to be, it wasn't about you to begin with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. That's so true. And that's kind of like overcompensating for knowing that it is about you.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know if that, hopefully that makes sense. But I do think that like there's humility in owning that you're good at something, owning that you've worked hard to be where you are. And I think the humility comes from being grateful for it.
Yeah, agreed.
And working hard at it every day and
Agreed.
taking advantage of the opportunity. That's something that I've learned. And I think I used to be so much like that in that position where I was like, you know, making myself smaller so that it didn't seem like I was trying to be, you know, self-serving or in the spotlight.
And I think we all do that.
Yeah,
especially
for sure.
women.
For
especially
sure.
women.
Especially women. Yes. Back to what you said about it being, you know, selfish not to follow those things because maybe it's something that God needs you to do. But I think about this all the time, and this went out of left field, but this is just a thought that came into my head. But like, even I want to be a mom. I want to be a wife one day. Definitely not anytime soon because I got things to do.
Give me some time.
One day, I even think about like, or even like for your friends or your family, like it is your job to fulfill your purpose to the highest extent that you can. Work hard at it. You know, figure out what you believe in, your morals, and like just fulfill your purpose as well as you can. And it can be ever changing, but for the people in your life even. And I think about this all the time. I want to make sure that I, you know, am a rock for my kids one day. And I want to make sure even in dating, sore subject, but
got it.
it's been a lesson to like choose, you know, the circle of people around me wisely because like people say, you are the people you surround yourself with. Mm-hmm. Even that, like making sure I'm a good friend, making sure I, you know, go through the hard things through them and not beating around the bush or pushing my emotions down and not ever dealing with them. And I think that it's so important to take care of yourself, not in like a, you know, face mask on a Friday night type of way, not in like a
real
self-love
way.
type of way, like a real, like, go through the hard battles, deal with your baggage, you know, work hard for the other people in your life that love you. Mm-hmm. You know, for God, for your family, for your future kids, for your best friend, for your spouse one day, you know.
I think about that all the time too when it comes to like my like future family. Mm-hmm. I also think that what we were talking about where like people are acting out of fear, I think a lot of the time that ends up when you're not fulfilling like what you should be doing in your life, like that leads to like discontentment, which leads to settling, which then leads to that affects every single area of your life. So I actually think the like most selfless thing you could do is probably pursue actually what you feel you're supposed to, because if you don't do that, like later on down the line, it's going to lead to worse things that are then going to affect other people. And that can even affect people like generationally, not to be so dramatic, but like I even think about like, you think about the parent that like the stage mom that was like very, very toxic and gave her daughter like an eating disorder and did all these things. You know what I mean? It's like that comes from like unfulfilled dreams, likely, or feeling like you weren't enough. It could be a billion other things, but I just think a lot of it, like if we all just like fulfilled what we, and didn't act out of fear, if we all just like fulfilled what we really felt like we were supposed to do, I wonder like where we would be at, even like just relationally, like on a health standpoint.
I agree. I completely agree. It's definitely the most selfless thing you can do is like putting yourself in a position where you will fail. Mm-hmm. And it's like inevitable, like putting yourself in the hard situations where you are gonna get hurt, but you're gonna make it through. Yeah. And like you figure it out. I'm really grateful for my mom in that sense. Like she has taken the road less traveled. Like she's really protected her values and her morals and just really stayed true to that straight and narrow road. That's a lot harder to stay true to. It's not made her life any easier, but I think when you take that path, you have peace in knowing that it's right. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, you can take that even in a sense of being a Christian. Like, there's being obedient, and then there's believing in God. And lots of people believe in God, but not a lot of people, you know, go on that straight and narrow path of being obedient. And it's not an easier road, even just in life. Like, the road less traveled is genuinely harder. You go through harder things, but, like, you have a peace in mind knowing that it's right. Mm-hmm. And I apply that to my career a lot too. Like it's harder to write certain songs. It's harder to put myself in that, animal in a zoo type of situation where people are just genuinely seeing me for what I'm going through and who I am, even if I haven't fully healed from it. But I know that that's important, and it's part of my job, and it's hard. But I have peace in mind knowing that, just as much as people see me, they feel seen as well through the music. So
You said with Narcissist, releasing it couldn't have been a worse time for you.
wait, literally.
Do you find that when you're almost more hesitant to put something out, it's what hits the hardest?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I even feel that on a way lesser extent with podcast episodes. Things that I don't really want to talk about fully and I don't know. Those are always the things that people are messaging
think about
about.
it. The things that you don't want to talk about are the things that they don't want to talk about either. I think that secrecy feeds addiction. Shame feeds addiction. And in a way, when you hide those true colors and what you're going through, as embarrassing as they may seem, it's selfish. It's selfish, and there's a difference between protecting your peace and being avoidant. Yeah. And for me, writing songs that I am nervous to release, I always know that now I know, I guess, that those are the songs that need to be heard the most, which is so uncomfortable.
No,
I won't lie.
unfortunate.
It's a little unfortunate, but it does, fulfill the purpose that I've stepped into. Skinny or Danny Don't. Skinny is about body dysmorphia, Danny Don't, suicide prevention, grave, sexual assault, all of things that people have written to me about, not things that I necessarily want to be seen, feeling or talking about, because that's, those are shameful feelings or situations they're hard. And reading people talking about that or talking about situations like that, it's very telling how much people are hiding those parts of themselves because they don't want to be seen.
Just heavy stuff.
It's heavy.
But I feel that, I think every girl in the world would say this. You're in a group of people and one person opens up about something that they think they're the only person in the world that's ever gone through. Chances are half that group has experienced the same thing. And it is really, really sad because they're very heavy, dark things. But I think it's more telling of almost the human condition. You're used and abused and they don't want you, because healing happens in community with people in conversation. So they want you isolated so that you don't experience that.
It's actually, not to get nerdy, but it's called emotional everessence when you're in a group setting of people that are emotionally vulnerable together, although they could be strangers, they could be your friends. But for me, I experienced that at a concert. Headlining shows, I play small rooms. It could be 500 to 1,000 people. And I'm singing a song like Vanilla or Grave or Depression, and there's a couple girls crying. When you're in a setting where you're emotionally vulnerable, you could be going through a completely different thing than the person standing right next to you, or you could be going through such a similar thing, but nonetheless you're both vulnerable in that situation. And everyone kind of accepts it together. Emotional everessence is very healing, and it's my job.
I love that. I've never even heard that before. No, that's amazing.
I'm super deep in that stuff. And I've literally never talked about that on a podcast ever. But yeah.
No, that's so cool. Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I do have just a couple questions to end off today. Okay. Number one. What is the craziest thing that's happened to you, career-wise? Something that just feels so wild, the first thing that comes to your head.
I don't know. So many crazy things have happened. I think that connection's crazy. That's takes the cake for sure. Connecting with strangers, meeting hundreds of people every night and, hearing their deepest, darkest experiences, crazy. Something a little more just surface level. I think it's been really wild for me. People that I've grown up listening to, know me or know who I am or even listen to my music. I don't want to name drop people, but there's just so many artists that I adore that are fans of me, which is so cool. Yeah, that's cool.
No, that's so crazy.
I don't know everything's crazy. It's a weird job.
It's a crazy world.
Yeah.
What is your best piece of breakup advice?
My best piece of breakup advice, I would just say feel it. I think girls are good at doing that immediately after a relationship. You have to like rot for a couple of days. But I also think that it's really important to know if that relationship didn't work out, imagine what, God has in store for you. I think addressing your pain is really important, because if you push it down and disassociate, you're going to find yourself in a really hard position in a couple of years, which Exhibit A. I've done that. And I've seen how some, abusive situations from my past have, shown up years later. And I have some things to work through. Also, especially don't jump to another relationship within like a short amount of time. Like I have yet to do that.
Everyone's done all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Seriously. What is your go-to breakup song? Like if you're going to a breakup song, you're going to like throw on like an artist or a song. Like what is your go-to?
Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the title, but it's already in my head. Any Taylor Swift song, honestly. I'm a Swiftie. But the Phoebe Bridgers song that's like... No, it's for the better.
Yeah. So good.
Crying my eyes out. Any Phoebe Bridgers, Lizzie McAlpine, Taylor Swift, just something that's like ultra depressing.
Yeah, it needs to be as sad as
Saddest
possible.
thing you've ever heard. Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah.
No, actually. Okay, very last question. How do you know personally that you're on the right path?
I think for me, knowing that I'm on the right path means, again, this goes back to my beliefs, and it could be different for anyone, especially given like not everyone has different beliefs, but for me, knowing that I'm on the right path is kind of having that, it could be nerves or excitement, but also kind of, I feel like I just have this gut feeling, and call it intuition, call it the spirit, or whatever you want. I think it's like just an underground piece, and like I said, like songs that make me nervous, those are the right ones. But also, people that are still in my life. And I don't think that it necessarily means that you're at peace or you're nervous. I think it could be either thing, but I think there's an underlying layer of just like a moral compass.
I think I feel it in my body.
Yeah.
Like it's like a piece that I
think
feel
women
in my body.
specifically.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
And we don't even need to talk about it because every girl listening to this is going to agree, but like female intuition is so rich. It's literally a gut feeling. I don't know. I don't know.
I was just having a conversation about this last night. Like it's so crazy because like a situation that I'm in now, I'm like, I feel it in my body that it's right. Like I know and there is peace. And I've never felt that in any of the other ones. I'm like, if I can go back and like tell my younger self anything, that is what I would do. But like even as people that I've dated,
or even friendships for me,
I had I had a literal steady stream of anxiety the whole relationship, but I was like, oh no, it's anxious attachment style, it's this, it's that. And it's like, I don't think that life in general is going to be easy. I don't think that like the right thing for you will always be easy. I think that there's going to come hardships, of course, but there is a level in which like I personally, if I'm trying to explain something too much almost to myself, like, and I can feel it in my body, that's how I know.
There have been times in my life with friendships and relationships where, like, I've been in a situation where I'm like, this person is perfect. This is a great situation, a great relationship. I've also been in the opposite position where I'm like, this is terrible. But even, like, I've been in situations where I'm like, nothing's necessarily on paper wrong, but I just feel it in my body that it's not right. Like, not that it's necessarily wrong, but it's just not right for me. And I've been in that situation with friendships before and ignored it because, I love that person, or the friendship serves me, or I feel a sense of fulfillment in serving them, or in a relationship even. And then come to find out months later, it was like just like a snake all along,
The worst. It's
the
like
worst.
You really do know, I think, so early on.
You do.
I also think the more you ignore that, though, the quieter it gets.
I agree.
So that's how, like, I feel like I've been able to stay in, like, some of the worst things ever because I ignored it for so long. But I think, like, almost, like, honoring yourself and listening to those feelings up front. But it's so hard when it's something that, it's not necessarily bad. It's just wrong for you. Yeah. You know what I mean?
There's a a smaller artist that I love so much. Her name's Paige Fish. Do you know Paige Fish?
I don't think so.
She has this song called Wishful Thinking, and a line in it is, I hate my intuition, it loves to see me cry. And I think that's like such an amazing line. She's super good. You guys should check her out. I think there's times in your life where you ignore your intuition and because you know that it's going to lead to losing people or a certain thing in your life that you love. Yeah, a breakup or a friendship or whatever it may be. But I think, practicing listening to your gut, you'll be the most confident and like just have the best peace of mind and such a strong compass of like what you need to do and where you need to go.
What's cool about listening to your gut and like making those decisions is that over time you realize that they were the right ones.
Yeah.
And so it's easier as you're older because like even just like gaining a year of experience of that, like not like older, I'm still so young, but I mean like it's easier than when I was 16. Now I have like so many like markers of my life where I'm like, well, I knew that wasn't right. I left that, thank God, because this wouldn't have happened. It just gets easier.
Yeah.
It's still a very hard thing to do, but it does get easier because then you have proof.
Right.
You know?
I always think to myself, like, I can't wait to be 30 because so far my 20s have been so emotionally unstable.
Oh my God, my 20s have been the absolute worst.
So I was going to ask you, as a 28-year-old to a 21-year-old, what is something that you wish that you knew, did when you were my age?
I wish I would have listened to myself earlier.
Okay.
And I think I would have made the harder decisions way earlier, and it would have saved me like years of heartache.
Right.
Because there's so many things that I ignored, or I'm not a people pleaser at all, but I was in my career.
Yeah.
And I think in a lot of different scenarios, I was in positions where I was making decisions like for other people, but when you're making decisions for other people, that's hurting them because it's not the right decision for you.
Yeah.
So ultimately,
it's never fulfilling.
It's
anyone.
not good. It's not good for anyone involved. I would have listened to my gut feeling like way earlier. And I don't think you're not, I don't think you believe this either. I don't think you're strong enough to like mess up like the fate, like the call of God on your life, what's meant for you, like whatever it is for you.
I agree.
So I think I put way too much pressure on myself and I was trying to like piece it together. Whereas if I would have just like listened to like the small like inner voice, I think it would have gotten me further faster too.
That's so good. I love that.
But you'll be fine.
I love that. And I love picking the brains of people that I
do this
like.
too,
I respect you, and I'm like,
anyone. I'm like, you're 6 months older than me. I'm like, so what do you know?
Yeah. So give me the deets. What's the secret to life here?
Literally.
I do think, like you said about people pleasing, I'm a huge people pleaser, but I was really convicted in not identifying in that because I did identify in it for so long. And sorry, this is so like out of left field, but I think that it's a really dangerous place to identify in personality traits.
I agree.
Or even in your mental health state.
Agreed.
Like blaming your life situations on like, oh, well, I'm a people pleaser, or I have anxiety, or I have depression, or, you know, I struggle with this, I struggle with that. Those things have value, and those are things that you may struggle with, but they don't make up like who you are. And for me, being like naturally a people pleaser-y person, for lack of better words, I think it put me in a really hard place, and it still puts me in a hard place where I am constantly, you know, trying to make decisions that will fulfill other people, but at the end of the day they don't, because then I'm, you know, just a shell of a person. But I think that's something, like, even you just saying that made me feel so seen, and also like you've gone through your life from what I know from what you just told me, because I don't obviously know you personally, but like having such a firm belief in who you are and what you want and doing what you want and not being a people pleaser. But I think that's something that as like a people pleaser, like I have to learn the hard way. So that's super refreshing to hear. I think you become a stronger person when you don't identify in things like that.
I think you're so right. And I have mental health issues, but I try to say like I struggle with anxiety, not I am an anxious person. I try to like differentiate those things, but I think more than anything, like whatever you place your identity in is something you don't want to lose.
I agree.
So I think when it comes to things like people pleasing or what other issues that you're dealing with at that point, I think like you're not wanting to lose your identity. So when you're placing that and saying I am this, you're not wanting to change that, and then it's just blaming things. I think that is like such an important thing.
It even goes to say with my career and my last project, they're very mental health heavy, and it's a very heavy mental health awareness album. And And I think it's really important to talk about, but not identify it, because
Yeah.
then you're trapped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't want anything to like take you out. Like you want to have control.
Yeah.
I think it's about having control.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah.
Okay, this has been absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for coming over.
Thank you.
This has been the best hour ever. Can you tell everyone where they can find you? I know you're touring right now.
Yes, you can see me at Avery Anna Music. Every social is that. I have a website, averyannumusic.com. If
I know you
wanna come
love
to a
self-promotion. So.
Yeah, so basically what I'm saying is listen to my songs, go to my shows. Let's see, I have a headlining tour coming up.
So
It's called Let Go Letters. It's about my latest album. So that'll be fun. It'll be a emotionally healing experience, emotional everessence.
Love.
So there's my self-promotion of the day. And I'll go cringe myself out the door.
That's like all I clip for you.
Yeah.
You're like, please delete. Oh my God. Okay, well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Yay.